Hello, everyone. It is Christian here from the Calcio Bros, and welcome back to another video from us. Now, we're going to talk about Serie A once again this weekend, and there were a lot of great results and some interesting topics to talk about here. There was, I wouldn't want to say controversy, but there's definitely some topics to be discussed from certain fixtures this weekend. We're here to talk about round 27, and that means we only have 11 match days left in the season. So everything's coming together. Some teams really pulling away towards their objectives, while others are starting to uh, slow down a bit now and could cause some issues going forward. So there are again lots to talk about. And one interesting thing to point out this weekend is that all but one game had two or more goals. So that we really saw a lot of scoring this weekend in Serie A. So that was a lot of fun, especially that we got to see a ton of goals. So we don't see that often, and we know that means too Serie A is getting more offensive and not always relying on defense to win them the game. So having a lot of goals uh, this weekend really showcased how much Serie A has changed. So, anyways, let's get talking to what happened this weekend, and we're going to start off with the results before we talk about certain topics this weekend. So starting off on Friday, March 12th, we had two games, and this was because Atalanta and Lazio do have their upcoming Champions League games, so they were given some extra time to prepare for those upcoming fixtures. The first one was at 9 a.m. We had Lazio Crotone, which finished 3-2 for the home side, and of course Caicedo, the super sub, scoring the late winner. At 2:45, we had Atalanta Spezia, tale of two halves, 0-0 in the first half, and then Atalanta went rampant to win 3-1 in the second half, and that keeps up their hopes for a top four finish. Now, moving on to Saturday, where we did have three games at 9 a.m., we have Sassuolo Verona. Sassuolo taking the victory here 3-2 against a Giudice side. So, a huge 3 points for De Zerbi, who have struggled as of late. 12 p.m. we had Benevento Fiorentina, where the visitors went and won this 4-1. First half Vlahovic hat trick helped secure the Viola the victory, and Benevento's struggles continue going forward. 2:45 we had Genoa hosting Udinese. This game finished in a 1-1 draw here. Now, moving on to Sunday, there was a time change, so the hours were all later, especially if you're, I don't know if it was everywhere, but at least you're in Canada or Ontario, wherever you want to call it. Anyways, the first game of the morning at 7:30 was the Bologna Sampdoria, two clubs in the middle of the table. Mihailovic's side took the victory over Ranieri 3-1. Now we move on to the morning games. At 10 a.m. there was two matches. We had Torino Inter, where Inter managed to get the victory late on thanks to Lautaro Martinez. Finished 2-1 for Conte's men, who continue their pursuit of the Serie A title. While Torino did play a great game, Inter managed to get the victory, even though they weren't at their best in this match. The second 10 a.m. match was actually one of the shocks of the weekend. Parma hosting Roma, and Parma went on to get the victory 2-0. Romanian what's the word I'm looking? The Romanian connection here between Man and Mihaila. They get the victory for Parma, securing themselves a victory, an important victory, especially, and it is their first win in 17 matches. Their last one coming back in November of 2020. So that is a huge relief of Parma managing to get a victory, especially against Roma. 1 p.m. we had Cagliari Juventus. Cristiano Ronaldo first half hat trick sealed the victory for Pirlo's men, and they continue their rise up the table, putting pressure on Milan and Inter as well. But there was a huge topic of debate in this game, which we will talk about as well. And then the last game of the weekend at 3:45 was Milan and Napoli, where Napoli went on to take the victory thanks to Matteo Politano, who scored the winner. Rebic also sent off late in the game. The only red card too of the weekend. Some topics as well there to discuss, but Milan again another depleted side, as they did lose Calabria as well. Kyer was only fit for the bench, so they did welcome back Gabia, but there's rumors of even Leao going off injured. Kessie was just fatigued as well for playing 90 minutes in his last 6 matches. But Milan really need some help going forward as they just constantly are getting pegged back by injuries. So those were the results for round 27. What did you guys think of these matches? Were there any surprises for yourselves? Were you impressed by any of these results? And again, only one game where we only got one goal. The rest were two or more. So that was very impressive to see, and it was very a very entertaining weekend for sure in Serie A. Anyways, I will talk about. So we also did see two hat tricks this weekend. Again, I think it's Dusan. I think Duvan Zapata. But anyways, Vlahovic gets his first career hat trick, or I don't know if it's his first career hat trick, but anyways, his first hat trick in Serie A. He gets that and does help relieve a bit of pressure for Prandelli and his men in this match. That was huge for him. He goes on 12 goals on the season. He is at an all career best right now, so that's very impressive for the uh, young striker. So he does have a lot to look forward to. Sassuolo again deserve be beating Judic and does help push them up the table. They do have a game in hand as well, but that is an important victory as they get to leapfrog Verona and move up in the standings. But it does relieve some pressure as that's only their second win in 5 games. The last one coming against Crotone, but I think it's their only third win of the new year. Anyways, after such a promising start to the season, so that is a huge relief for De Zerbi, like I said, as we talk about Lazio and Atalanta. So a tale to half for Atalanta at 0-0. Spezia had probably the better opportunities throughout the match. Paslic did have a good chance, but he goes and at least gets a goal in the second half, opens the scoring, and as soon as they got the one goal, they just kept going. Atalanta, once they get going, it's so hard to stop them. But anyways, they got a huge win at Spezia, and Spezia are now starting to struggle a bit more, trying to get some type of points. As they do want to stay away from the relegation zone, but it is getting difficult now to finding points as everyone's fighting for something as well. They do need to pick up something. If they were able to get it, that would have been huge for them. But Atalanta, again, once they score, it's so hard to stop them. Uh, but they are having an impressive debut season so far. Lazio, they did win, but they were in a lot of difficulties there. Milinkovic Savic got a huge goal for himself to get back going. A huge confidence booster. One thing too with Crotone, Simi scoring 2 goals, he becomes the Nigerian with the most goals scored in Serie A, passing Obafemi Martins. I believe he has 13 goals now, I want to say, but ever since Cosme came in, he's been playing Simi. Stropa would always usually start Simi from the bench, and look what's happened. At least, okay, they're not losing, but they have one win in their last 5. But at the same time, he's scoring. You were having issues scoring from before, but you would start. I know at one point he was injured, but you were constantly starting Simi on the bench, and that was a huge issue because how are you gonna win when you have one of your best strikers on the bench? So that really caused I feel Crotone has some issues. Simi definitely should be starting more games. He's that big guy up front that they can look to. Yes, he did. He even did score in that one blowout against Atalanta, but he's still picking up goals, which are important. And it does cause the other team to try and push for either an equalizer, a goal to get back to restore their lead. So getting goals from Simi, like, he put Lazio in so much pressure, scored a nice, even just toe poke past Reina to get themselves level. Caicedo once again being the super sub that he is, scoring very late and sealing a victory for Inzaghi's men here, or Simone Inzaghi's men. Um, but if why are you gonna waste your best striker on the bench and not trying to get you anything? To me, that's illogical thinking. But I'm not the coach, so I can't say anything. There could be something else going on, but what am I to say, right? What do I know? We'll move on to some of the other topics of debate. Inter, they looked a little fatigued, but they are starting to really thrive with only the game, uh, 1 game a week, and that's really helping them pull away in this Serie A race. We're going to talk about the standings as well, as we know, but huge result for them. Lukaku and Martinez once again on the score sheet here. I think Lukaku's even he's getting close to the Serie A Capocannoniere race. I think he's 19 goals. I want to say maybe. I know he's up there somewhere. He's about, yes, 19 goals. Ronaldo really managed to get himself farther away. Um, Oh no, Simi has 12 goals. Sorry, speaking of Simi, just because I'm also looking at the top score now. Simi has 12 goals this year, so he has passed. He definitely has passed. Obafemi Martins with the most goals in a Serie A season, I think it is, or just in general of Nigeria. I don't know. I read one thing and then I forget. So my apologies on that. But anyways, I just know he has passed Obafemi Martins on that. But Lukaku is pulling behind Ronaldo in the Capocannoniere race. So it's still very close with that. And even with Martinez at 14, so right there, that's 33 goals between the two strikers in Serie A. That's pretty damn impressive. Muriel, too, who has even started off the bench, 16 goals, and he's only started 8 or 9 times. Come on. That's ridiculous. And he's on the bench more than Zapata, who only has 9. So tell me how that's like that's just crazy. That's just really crazy. Anyways, let's go back to some of the results again. Inter win with a bit of fatigue against a good Torino side who just got unlucky in the end, hit the crossbar a couple times. Some people were saying for Torino's goal to be disallowed because of a slight push on Skriniar. There wasn't too much in that, to be honest. That's what I feel in there, but it definitely wasn't enough for a goal to be disallowed. There just wasn't enough in the push. I know Barella did go down as well, but he was accidentally taken out by his own player. And even if you look at Martinez's goal, there was a slight. It's when Sanchez crossed it in the same frame, you can see that a Torino player is pushed down. I think was it Hakimi, someone down the right hand side pushed down a Torino player. That technically could have been brought back for a foul, but probably wasn't enough in that either. So, anyways, they get the victory there. Parma, once again, congratulations. You get your first win in 17 matches. That, again, is a huge relief, and it does help them as Torino drop points, Cagliari drop points, Crotone drop points. So it does really help them in the standings, and it really puts more pressure now on those other teams. Torino, yes, still has 2 games back, but they have to play against Sassuolo and Lazio. So those are huge games for them, and I think it puts even more pressure on them to win these games, especially if Nicola wants to help salvage Torino from going down. It just really puts on the pressure. So again, Parma with a huge victory with a lot of their starters coming back. Let's see if they can continue this momentum going forward. And especially now that they're starting to score goals, it does really help that they can do that now, and it does help them in securing the victory. I know there's some debate whether or not it was a penalty. I could say it's kind of a soft penalty. There was more like it was like a shoulder in there, but it can be like a 50-50. We have seen ones given for around the same thing, maybe even for nothing as much, but the ref called it a penalty. What are you going to do? I guess there's some instances. Yeah, you could have given it, you could have not given it, but it probably would have given it more as a foul, to be honest. But I know Roma in this match just couldn't click. They couldn't get anything forward. None of their passes or shots would go where they wanted them to. So it was just one of those games for Roma, and that does hurt them too. Because yes, they have dropped points against the top 6, and they've usually picked up points from teams under them. So this was a huge letdown for them. Their second defeat in their last 5 games now, and you wouldn't have thought, especially the way Roma's been this season, to drop points against Parma. But they did drop points against Benevento as well not too long ago. So that is definitely a tough result for them too, especially if they have hopes of getting up there. in the Champions League, but that means they really have to pick up points against the top sides going forward, and especially if they are to get anything for the top four, because now it's getting really close with other teams picking up points and slipping up, so it's really a tight race now. So, anyways, now Ronaldo gets a hat trick, a perfect hat trick, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, and a header. But anyways, there is some topic to debate as after he scored his first goal from, was it the right foot? I feel no, it was the header. The header was the 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 first one. There was a coming together with him and Cragno, and to be honest, I kind of didn't think about after seeing the replay. I really didn't take it in as much, but then seeing the replay more and more afterwards, I'm like, oh my god, like how did he not get sent off? You do see players get sent off for stuff similar or even worse. Like you would even see what, like this is going back into last season, what Rebic did in the Coppa Italia. You know, he had a high foot that hit the Juventus's player's shoulder. This was in the Coppa Italia semifinals where Milan had to play pretty much the whole game in 10 men, and he was sent off for that. You've seen uh, other players change, like the refs change their decisions and change it from yellow to red for not even anything, and it basically hit Cragno cleats in the face, had to get bandaged up just under the chin as well. And usually with her, like he only gave the ref only gave a yellow for this. Is Ronaldo too protected to get sent off? He's been sent off before, but is he too protected now? Um, in this sense, because he would not have got his hat trick. We all know that because he wouldn't have been on the field in the first place. Did he deserve to get sent off? That's the thing. He should have. And dangerous play, studs up, hits the keeper in the face. Keepers are protected in some sense, but you don't go that high, especially in the box. Like ball nowhere to be seen. That because Cragno punched it out. Like you could have really hurt the goalie. There was no VAR check in that instance as well to overturn the call. Like that. That's just. That's really just something too. But Cagliari did play a much better second half, but if honestly, if Ronaldo was the focal point, they would have definitely have changed. And this is one thing too. He disappeared in the games against Porto, where Juve needed him most to especially overturn it. But then he goes and gets. I know everyone's criticizing him, and he came back with a celebration to say, like, look at me, getting the hat trick. But you're getting against a relegation threatened Cagliari, and you're getting against, yes, against a side who's playing for safety, who's really struggled defensively, and the Ronaldo purchase was definitely a flop for Juventus because they never bought Ronaldo to win the Scudetto. They've won it without him the past few years, but they've bought him to win the Champions League. But now they've been eliminated for the third consecutive year in the round of quarterfinals. I want to say round of 16. Round of 16, yeah. Because this year was around the second consecutive year in the round of 16, and then the year before in the quarterfinals against Ajax. But they've really struggled with him in the Champions League. They have not been up to par. And I know it's Ronaldo's also getting older. Yes, he can still score, but he hasn't been the same player to help produce in the Champions League that we've seen that won 3 consecutive Champions League titles with, or did he win that third one with Real Madrid? Now I can't remember. But he did. He's won at least twice. I want to feel with Real Madrid. I want to say because I know he did win a couple too. I feel he did win 3. Now I'm getting myself confused. But anyways, I know he did win 1 or 2 with Madrid because he did win a 1 or 2 with. I feel he has 4 Champions Leagues, 2 with Madrid, 2 with United. But again, I could be wrong. Like I could really be wrong. But anyways, but you've seen how he produces. He's the all-time top scorer in the Champions League, and he has come in crucial moments as well as we've seen, especially last year when he helped overturn the first nothing first nothing. Oh my god, now I'm getting my words mixed up. But the first game, a two-leg defeat to Atletico Madrid, he comes back and scores a hat trick against Atletico and Simeone's side to help them progress. Was that last year? That could have been actually the year before when they got eliminated from Ajax. But anyways, he is definitely struggling with Juventus, and I feel there's times where he just plays. They play worse with him because they're always trying to play off him and not allowing the team to really flow. And the one person that I've seen this year in the Champions that's actually been great has been Federico Chiesa. You know, he's the only one that really scored against Porto. Um, Actually, Rabiot scored the other one, but really he's been the like real surprise for Juve this year. Chiesa, you know, because they only got him because he wanted to leave Fiorentina, especially, and since they did buy Kulusevski, you know, they play kind of the same position. But Ronaldo, this it was a whole mess. And anyways, like I said, he's. I know I'm going way off topic, but again, he's rightfully criticized. He should be, and yeah, yes, you scored a hat trick to rebound off that, but which game matters more, the game against Porto or the game against Cagliari? Like, tell me which one is more important. And you're saying, look at me, I scored a hat trick the next game. No, you should have scored the hat trick against Porto that actually would have made a difference because Juve could have beat Cagliari even without you. Okay, yeah, they haven't been able to beat some sides without him this year, but you know what I'm saying? Like, in a more crucial match, you don't show up, but yet you score a hat trick in a game where you should have been sent off after your first goal. So, am I right? Am I wrong? Be sure to let me know what you have to say about that because that definitely is some topic to debate. But he definitely I feel should have been sent off. Again, yes, I didn't see it right away, but again, I'm seeing replays and replays of it after that because I'm like, oh, I don't even know how I missed it in the first place. Maybe I just didn't really take it in for a second. Um, but he should have been sent off. Referee even should have just gone, like someone in the VAR room should have said, you know, look what happened instead of just getting the yellow. Yeah, okay, yeah. Is it because he apologized and only got the yellow? We've seen players apologize, but they know they did something wrong in the first place and perhaps should have seen, like, and they understand, sure, it should, they know it's a red. Sometimes they do it on purpose to stop an attack, and they know what they did is wrong, and it's worth the red, right? But yes, they apologize for what they did, but they know it's a red card in the first place. So an apology shouldn't mean anything. Oh, I apologize to you. Here's a yellow for that. No, you stand by the call. You stand for what the rules are, and depending on the intent of what it is. Okay, he didn't mean to get Cragno, but you can't put your leg that high up, especially towards the goalkeeper. Like, he could have really hurt Cragno going forward. Could have really did some damage. So it's good to see that Cragno is not like hurt that much, but could have been worse. So let me know if you guys agree that Ronaldo should have been sent off for that. Was it the right decision not to send him off? What do you guys think? Because I think we kind of know, but I just want to hear all your thoughts going on that. Anyways, some next topics here. So, Milan Napoli. So, Politano again. Milan were very depleted with injuries, but they didn't still looked very fatigued. Anyways, and again, missing players. You're playing Thursday. Napoli aren't in Europa League as well, so it's very tough to say, and it's hard when you haven't played a game with a lot of your starters in there. You know, they just had Rebic come back, and he decided to get sent off because he told the ref he saw his mom be a prostitute in Naples. So that's just stupidity at its finest. So we're going to talk about three topics here because they were the main focal points of the, well, not focal points, but they could have really had an impact. Uh, One of them was being Di Lorenzo's tackle on Hernandez, which was studs into the ankle. Referee showing him a yellow. And this ref, too, is the one that sent uh, Federico Pasqua is the one that sent off Tonali against Benevento for studs onto the shin. There was contact with studs on the shin, but he went to VAR to review it and did send Tonali off, originally also giving a yellow. So in this instance too, you're taking out a player by the ankle, studs up, maybe a little higher, only yellow, no VAR. I feel that should have been a red. Now, if you go into Hernandez's tackle on Ozyman, went in, did not get the ball, only a yellow. Hernandez also did risk a red card there as well. Could have been a red too, because he could have even been clean forward as well, but still not the best of challenges from Hernandez. So two red card incidents there. Be sure to let me know if you agree with that, because they definitely really risked a lot. Now going on to the penalty claims from Milan. Now this one, even from when I first saw it, I didn't think it's a penalty. Um, yes, there was contact, but it wasn't enough. I don't know. I didn't think it was enough. Yes, we have also one instance. You could say yes, it could still be a foul in general, and especially that it's in the box, you could give it. And we definitely have seen penalties given for less. Um, but maybe because Hernandez does have a bit of the reputation to kind of go down as well, so I don't know why. And referee, but the thing is too, usually yeah, when most refs don't call penalty and they go to VAR review it, they end up reversing their decision. But in this instance, Pasqua retained his decision in the first place not to give it. So that was a little different as well, because they usually, again, as we know, when ref goes to VAR, he does overturn his decision and gives the penalty. So that was surprising to see from Pasqua that he did not overturn the decision. It was kind of like studs on the back of the calf, but again, it wasn't for me personally. Even being a Milan fan, I kind of don't feel it was that much of a penalty. But we do have seen penalties given for like much less in the past, and we have given it to where other teams fouled our players and they've been given a penalty, and I'm referencing that one incident. But anyways, let me know if you guys agree if that is a penalty or not. I know it was slight minimal contact, but wasn't enough to really give the penalty. Would it have been deemed a foul outside the box? Probably, but for penalties, there are sometimes fouls are given the benefit of doubt too, especially, but sometimes they're too soft for a foul in the box. You know, it's just tough to say on that. But anyways, let me know if you guys agree on any of those. Should Di Lorenzo and Hernandez both sent off for their challenges on Hernandez and Ozyman? Should Milan have gotten a penalty for that? Just comment below. Let me know. Let me hear what you guys have to say about that. If there's also any other topics you wanted me to discuss, be sure to share your thoughts down in the comment section. I just thought these were the most highest talking points. If you do agree with the Ronaldo situation, let me know. If you guys agree with what happened in the Milan game, just be sure to share down your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, also before I also get onto the standing, actually, I'll talk about that after the standings. Another topic here with the upcoming fixtures. So, anyways, with Parma's win and Cagliari, Torino, and Crotone's loss, the bottom doesn't change too much, but Crotone still remain last with 15 points, and again, they're probably going to be the team for sure going down. They can probably be the ones that we know are going to get relegated. Parma not move up, but they move closer to Torino, who sit third last in that third and final relegation spot. Parma have 19 points. Torino have 20 points, but remember, Torino also have 2 games in hand that they do need to play. One of them coming up this week against Sassuolo. The other one to be determined, unless they've already decided when they will play, but I probably have not seen, but I could be wrong. Cagliari sitting at 22 points, so they are 2 points above Torino, 3 points above Parma, so it's still very close. Now with Spezia and Benevento both losing, they are at 26. Genoa slightly moved down because of wins from Fiorentina, Bologna, and then points. So that, sorry, not points, but anyways, kind of drop points even with their draw, and they're 8 points away from the relegation zone. Or sorry, yes, 8 points away from the relegation zone. So they still do have a quite a distance away, but we'll say for Spezia and Benevento, who have not won since beginning of January, so they have been struggling as of late. Really tough for Filippo Inzaghi to get his side going. And then, especially Spezia, who have not won since the beginning of February. They had back-to-back wins over Sassuolo and Milan, and now they seem to be struggling uh, as of late as well to pick up any points as well. So they need these points if they want to stay up, and especially push away. They are both tied on 26 points, 4 points above Cagliari, 6 points above Torino. But again, Torino, if they can win those two games, they go tied points with them, and it really puts Spezia Benevento in a tougher position, especially with Cagliari. That means they're only separated by 4 points for that third and final relegation spot. And if Parma continue to pick up points as well, then that puts those teams in a more difficult position. So Spezia and Benevento really need to find some form and just come away with full 3 points in their upcoming fixtures, and that will definitely be tough. But there's a huge match coming up for one of these teams, which we're going to talk about now. And well, when we talk about the upcoming fixtures for round 28, going to the top side, we're going to start with the eighth spot because Sassuolo overtook Verona because of the victory over the weekend. They're only separated by a point. Sassuolo with 39, and I want to touch on top eight just because with that seventh spot, again, it is a Europa League qualifier. Lazio sitting there right now. Sassuolo and Lazio both with a game in hand as they both need to play Torino. Lazio sitting at 46 points, so they're at least a good distance from Sassuolo, depending on if Sassuolo can beat Torino or not. Still up to determine whether or not it'll happen. But Lazio, with their win, managed to go 4 points now behind their city rivals, Roma, who now sit in sixth spot after dropping points this weekend to Parma. They sit tied points with Napoli, who did win their match again against Milan, and Napoli, remember, have their game in hand against Juventus, which is another topic of debate because of another rescheduled fixture, which I will talk about that as well. But Lazio, if they can win their match against Torino, that would put them 1 point behind Roma. While Napoli win their match, they can go just 2 points behind Juventus and pass Atalanta. Atalanta sit fourth right now with 52 points. Juve moving up to third at 55 points with the game in hand. Milan lose and are 56 points, 1 point ahead of Juventus for now. Again, depending on how their match goes against Napoli, and then Inter still alone at the top, 9 points ahead at 65, ahead of Milan, and then 10 points ahead Juve at the moment. So it seems like Inter could be pulling away with this. It is theirs to lose going forward. Juve are putting in that pressure now. Are they still considered in the Scudetto race? I think it's still much to debate about that. 10 points is a lot to try to rebound from, and it does depend on how they do in their match against Napoli. So Milan have also been struggling at home as of late, and they really needed some form desperately if they hope to put any more pressure onto their city rivals, Inter, and especially with their home match against Manchester United. They really need to do something, but it is hard playing game in, game out with lots of your starters injured or coming back from injuries and not being at full fitness. So it's a lot to struggle with right now for them. If you guys have any thoughts on the standings, be sure to let me know. Do you think Inter can pull away with this, or do you think Milan or Juve can pull off a surprise? Who do you think will be relegated at the bottom of the table? Do you think Parma will end up being relegated along with Cagliari or Torino, or will we see Cagliari, Torino, and Crotone relegation? Be sure to comment below. Let me know. So now, as I said, with the upcoming fixtures for this weekend, we do have the postponed match of Torino Sassuolo being played on Wednesday at 10 a.m. March 17th. That's for round 24. I don't know when the Lazio Torino game will be postponed. I don't know. We were also supposed to have Juventus-Napoli on Wednesday at 3:45, but that's not happening because, or maybe not 3:45, could have been 12. I don't know. They took away the time. But both teams agreed to postpone the match. Now, Roma also put in a complaint that they get to postpone their game because now Napoli will be fully rested going forward for their match against Roma, while Roma also have their Europa League game on Thursday against Braga, or not Braga, sorry, that was last game, Shakhtar Donetsk. So you can see from Roma's point of view, and if that happened too, Milan could have got their game postponed against Napoli after playing their Europa League fixture too, or even against next weekend against Fiorentina. So they should have played they should have played as of Wednesday. I feel that there's no need to postpone that game. It's just very unnecessary as well. But both teams should have played, and Roma do have the right to complain about that. So, what are your thoughts on the postponement of the game? Be sure to let me know. So, anyways, we're going to talk about the matches for round 28. So one game on Friday at 3:45, March 19th, we have Parma Genoa. So a huge battle for Parma. If they can pick up another consecutive win, that can really put pressure on Cagliari and Torino. And you can even say Benevento and Spezia. Genoa, after slipping a bit in the standings, will hope to get a win now in their last five. They are winless, 3 draws and 2 losses, so they will hope to pick up a victory now. Ballardino wants to really push away from the bottom of the standings. Now for Saturday, March 20th, 10 a.m., we have Crotone Bologna. Crotone will hope to, after a decent performance against Lazio, will hope to pull away against Mahalovic's men, who do stay comfortably in mid-table, and will want to pull away with victory, just to keep how Mahalovic want to pull away with a victory, just to keep his season going in a good run. 1 o'clock, we have Spezia Cagliari, so that's a huge one at the bottom of the table. If Cagliari do win, that puts them 1 point behind Spezia, and does put Spezia in again a more difficult position in their battle to fight for safety, because again another dropped result won't be good for them at all. So they will hope to pick up something from this match. While Cagliari wanted to put they did have a good performance against Juve more in the second half, but anyways, want to do better going forward and get themselves a victory, because they can push away from Torino before they play their match. Well, especially depending on how their match goes against Sassuolo, just help pull away and overtake them for now in the standings. At 3:45, we have Inter Sassuolo. So De Zerbi wants to take another good victory and perhaps get one over on Inter, and just possibly put on a good string of positive results going forward. Will Inter want to continue their winning streak and just keep pulling away with the Scudetto, or in the Scudetto race, and just keep going, blazing farther away from Milan and Juve, and continue it on their good run of form. If Lukaku and Martinez are on a good day, they could definitely cause Sassuolo some issues, especially how much they have struggled as of late. As we move on to Sunday now, March 21st at 7:30, we have Verona Atalanta. Now, Verona had one of the better defensive records as of late, but now they're starting to concede a lot, and that could really put some bad signs, considering how Atalanta likes to score for fun. So they could really take advantage of their fragile defensive as late, and Gasperini will definitely want to take the victory here if he can, and put pressure on Juventus and Milan, especially. Atalanta would go tied points with Juventus and 1 point behind Milan, as Gasperini does want to secure himself in the top four finish, and hopefully put even more pressure on the other teams and making sure they slip up as well. Now, 10 a.m., we have 3 matches. We have Udinese Lazio. Now, that could be a really interesting affair, because especially Lazio struggling in their last match against Crotone, especially against an Udinese side who could be well organized, well compact, and can cause any side's issues on their best day. We have Sampdoria Torino. Not a bad fixture here, but Torino will hopefully, they also did put in a decent performance against Inter, but will hope to do much better in this match, especially against Ranieri, who just wants to get a string of good positive results going forward. He's winless in his last 5, so he will also help to get something out of this match, and especially take get a one over on Torino, who have also looked very inconsistent as of late. And then the last 10 a.m. match is Juventus-Benevento. Again, Juve want to take advantage of a fragile Benevento who has not won since January, and hoping to take advantage of that and just continue putting their pressure on Milan and getting closer to um, Inter in the standings, and potentially try to cause them some issues in the Scudetto race going forward. So watch out for Juve and the rest, and Ronaldo and co. 1 a.m. Sorry, 1 a.m. 1 p.m. Sorry. We have Fiorentina hosting Milan. Now, Fiorentina picking up a huge win against Benevento in their last time out. Want to take advantage of a Milan who have looked very inconsistent as of late, not being able to really pull together positive winning streaks. But Milan have looked good on the road this year. Only one defeat all season. So this could be the time to turn Milan's sides away, but at the same time, Milan are also injury ridden as well, because it depends who they can have back for next match. But also missing Rebic, Leao possibly injured as well. So it really depends if they can get Ibrahimovic back for this week. It would be crucial for them, especially playing without a true forward there. A huge match to look out, and Milan will need the full 3 points in this weekend. And now the big match of the weekend is Roma-Napoli here. So Roma again they did lose last time out against Parma, and as well against Napoli in that huge defeat. I think it did finish 4-0. Yes, it was 4-0 in that huge weekend where Maradona did pass away, and Napoli went on to honor him that weekend. Now Roma again have struggled against all top six sides. They would hope to pull something away this time around, and hopefully turn something in their season. And they want to do finish in that top four and get that Champions League. They aren't that far out, but this win against Napoli will be crucial in their season going forward. Fonseca really hopes to get something going. Well, Napoli are undefeated in their last 4 matches, so they are really starting to pull up some consistency now, and do hope they can continue, especially that they know they can get the better of Roma on their day if they can. So Gattuso will really hope to get the best out of his men. So those are all the fixtures going forward. Which match are you looking forward to? Do you think some teams will pull away with the results? Do you think Milan can rebound, or will they suffer a defeat at Fiorentina? Do you think Juve can capitalize on a Benevento, or will Benevento make them struggle again? Can Inter pull off a victory against Sassuolo, or can Roma capitalize on Napoli, or will Napoli once again take this? Be sure to comment below. Let me know. So that's it for today's video. If you have any thoughts going forward with anything we have that was discussed, be sure to let me know. Share your thoughts down in the comment section. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter for matchday updates, our thoughts in general about any topics of Serie A, and any team updates that have been released, transfer updates, anything that's going on. The hashtag or handle is Calcio_bros. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Calcio content and other discussion videos as well. And click the bell to receive notifications on when we release our latest videos. I hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao.